Hi, welcome to today's sobriety motivation. Today I am reading once again from Seeds of Serenity, Volume 1, and Volume 2, which is the sobriety edition, is coming out on July 20th. It is this one. And I learned in writing this one to number the devotionals, to number the passages, because even though you can go to the table of contents and you can look up passage number 4 in section 1, it's so much easier when you're flipping through the book and you can see the numbers, like the devotional numbers. So that's an improvement with volume 2. And will make it easier for me and hopefully for you if you decide that you want to get yourself a book of your own. So today I'm reading from page 17. It's called Releasing the Need for Control. For years, I believed that if I just tried hard enough, I could fix my loved ones' problems. I took their problems on as my own personal responsibility. I also did this, by the way, with friends, not just family members. As a part of my own codependency, I would take on other people's issues, other people's problems as my own and my responsibility to fix them for them, as well as people's feelings, by the way. I used to be a huge feeling fixer. So moving on, if I could just say the right words, or take the right action, I could help them get better or feel better. I eventually realized that the best way to support people I care about is to simply be there without trying to change or fix anything. Releasing the need for control is one of the most profound and liberating shifts a person can make in their personal and spiritual growth. At least it was definitely for me. Control often masquerades as security, giving us the illusion that we can prevent pain, predict outcomes, and shape the world according to our desires. However, the relentless pursuit of control can lead to anxiety, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. At its core, the need for control is often rooted in fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, of being hurt, or of losing something valuable. This fear keeps us in a cycle of overthinking, micromanaging, and struggling to force outcomes that may not be in our best interest. The power of releasing control is most evident in relationships, whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships. And let me just stop and say that unless you're a hermit, you are in a relationship at all times, at any given time, whether that's a relationship with your family members that you live with, or your roommates, or you're in a relationship with your coworkers, with your friends. So we're always existing and operating within relationships. So let me start that sentence again. Whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, the urge to control stems from the belief that if others behave a certain way, we'll feel safe or happier. However, people are not meant to be controlled. They are meant to be loved and accepted. True connection flourishes when we honor the free will of others and relinquish the need to dictate their choices. Perhaps one of the most powerful examples of releasing control comes from addiction recovery. Many people struggling with substance use hold tightly to the belief that they can manage it alone, that if they just try harder, they can regain control. I used to be one of those people until I was finally able to admit that I couldn't do it alone and embraced the support of others. This is the moment I found the strength I needed to successfully recover, when I was willing to let go of control and allow other people to help and support me. Ultimately, the practice of letting go of control invites peace into our lives. It encourages living in the present and accepting uncertainty as a part of the human experience, rather than fearing it. In doing so, we cultivate resilience, grace, and a profound sense of inner freedom. Instead of fighting the current of life, we learn to flow with it, trusting that we are always exactly where we need to be. And this is also very true, by the way, of anxiety. And what I treat people about anxiety is that our natural response with anxiety is usually to try and push it away. We have this adversarial relationship with the anxiety, whereas if we just lean into it rather than trying to control it, right? We're trying to control the anxiety. If we just lean into it and allow it to be there and gently embrace it, it's a skill, it's a practice that a strategy that you have to practice over and over again. But when we do this, when we lean into the anxiety and we acknowledge it and we allow it to be there, I know it's counterintuitive, but it actually serves to reduce the intensity of the anxiety. So remembering that whenever we're trying to control anything, that we're causing more resistance. So the daily practice, the morning reflection, is to identify an area in life where you feel the need to control, and write about that. And the prayer for peace. Ask God to help you surrender control and trust in His plan. And real quick, by the way, another revision to the second volume that I learned from the first volume is I expanded the writing prompts. So you're going to have a little bit more relative to prompting you of what you could potentially write about. So that's coming in volume 2. Gratitude practice. Did I say the prayer for peace? Ask God to help you surrender control and trust in His plan. Gratitude practice. List 3 times letting go led to positive outcomes. Daily affirmation. Repeat the affirmation, I surrender and trust. Life flows with grace. Moment of silence. Reflect on one way you practiced surrender today. Serenity breath prayer meditation. Breathe in trust. Breathe out resistance. Imagine holding your worries in your hands and then gently opening them, allowing them to be carried away by the wind. Be still and know that all is well. That's it for today's sobriety motivation. I hope you found it helpful. I wish you a very beautiful, blessed, and a sober day today, and I hope you'll join me again in the next video.